format that was the same format that they had the All Star race at Charlotte. The first stage should be 50 laps. The second stage should be 40 laps. The third stage and the final stage should be 25 laps. The first two stages, caution laps, should count at both those stages in that exhibition race on Thanksgiving, at Charlotte, if it was to be held at Charlotte. First stage 50 laps, second stage 30 laps, third stage 25 laps, final stage should be 10 laps. Should be a 10-lap shootout. The first three stages, the format due to the distance of the first three stages. Stage 1 is 50 laps at Charlotte. Stage 1 is 50 laps. Stage 2 is 40 laps. Stage 3 is 30 laps. Caution laps should count at both. Caution laps should count at those three stages. The fourth stage which is 25 laps. Green flag laps, only green flag laps count in stage 4. But however, in the last stage, which is a 10-lap shootout, the race must end under green no matter what. Have only green flag laps count in the 10-lap shootout in the exhibition race on Thanksgiving. Have those 10 laps, only green flag laps count, and the race must end under green no matter what. Doesn't matter if a caution comes out. Even if the leader has taken the white flag, on the last two laps, there's 5 or less laps to go in the exhibition race on Thanksgiving. The race must end under green no matter what. No matter if the caution comes out, if a late race caution comes out with 2 laps to go, or if a caution were to come out on the last lap of the race, if the leader takes the white flag, the race must end. The exhibition race on Thanksgiving must end under green, no matter what. No matter what track is held on, no matter which track the race is held at. Either North Westboro, or it can be held at Charlotte. It can even be held at Rockingham. That race can even be held at Rockingham, North Carolina Speedway. Yeah, Rockingham could host that race on Thanksgiving. Yeah, Rockingham could host an exhibition race on Thanksgiving. And since the Sprint Cup Series don't have a date, at Rockingham, why not host a Thanksgiving? Why not host that race on Thanksgiving at Rockingham, North Carolina Speedway? And since it's a 1 mile oval, have the format at Rockingham. If they were to have if the exhibition date at Rockingham was to happen, the qualifiers should be 50 laps, two 50-lap qualifiers. Then have a 200 lap, then have a 150 lap. Then the race itself should be 150 laps at Rockingham. And it's very plausible because Rockingham doesn't have a date. Rockingham doesn't have a cup race for 2025. If NASCAR was to do an exhibition race for Thanksgiving, to have a race on Thanksgiving Day, it should be at Rockingham. It should be at Rockingham Speedway, North Carolina Speedway. Since that track doesn't have a cup date yet. The Thanksgiving race yes, it should be held at Rockingham, North Carolina Speedway. The race before Thanksgiving, both qualifiers, both 50 laps. 50 laps is the distance. And at the end of those 50 laps, they have to do each driver, the format, at the end of the first 50 laps, drivers must take a mandatory 2-tire pit stop or a 4-tire pit stop, and it's mandatory. And then after the break, they do another 50 laps. In the first 5 drivers, in the first 3 drivers who finish, and the first 3 drivers, they have to finish no worse. You have to finish no worse than third. They have to finish no worse than fifth in order to advance to the Thanksgiving race. In order to advance to the race on Thanksgiving, those drivers have to finish no worse than fifth. And those drivers who finish fifth or better gets into the race on Thanksgiving. Gets into the 150 lapper on Thanksgiving. And if that race was to be broken down into segments, I think if that race were to be broken down into segments, I think stage one needs to. Yeah, I don't think it would be broken down into segments. I think they're going to be doing the same thing as they would do with the All-Star at North Wilkesboro. Run the full distance and have a race and have a halfway break between where the race reaches halfway point. If NASCAR was to do an exhibition race on Thanksgiving, in my opinion, since the Cup Series doesn't have a date at Rockingham Speedway next, and since the Cup Series does not have a date at Rockingham yet, if NASCAR was to have an exhibition race on Thanksgiving, it has to be held at Rockingham. No matter what, it has to be held at Rockingham, North Carolina Speedway. Since that track doesn't have a cut date yet, it needs to be held at the Rock, North Carolina Speedway. And now the next question: who will get it? Who will qualify? Who will qualify for that race at Rockingham? Who will qualify for the Thanksgiving race? In my opinion, the drivers who have the past champions. If you're a past champion, then you're automatically in. Then you're automatically racing in the exhibition race on Thanksgiving. Yeah, past champions. Drivers who've been champion. Yeah, the past champion is automatically in. Drivers who won poles. Drivers who have poles, who qualify from the pole, they can get in. They can get in that way. Or drivers who have wins, drivers who have wins throughout the entire season, and the best average finish, they can get. And a pretty decent average finish, they can get in that way. Drivers who qualify for the Thanksgiving race, for the exhibition race on Thanksgiving. Drivers who score poles. Drivers who start the race from the pole. The past champion. The champion for the past season, and the drivers who have wins throughout the entire season can qualify in the race. And the rookie drivers, and the drivers who do not have the pole, and do not have a win, and are not a past champion like the rookie drivers. They have to get in by finishing no worse. They have to get into the race by finishing no worse. Yeah, those drivers have to race their way in on the week on the day before Thanksgiving. 50 laps. First qualifying race is 50 laps. Last chance qualifier is another 50 laps. And at the 25 laps, in the first 25 laps, caution laps count. The first 50 laps, caution laps count the whole distance. But the last 50 laps, only the first 25 laps, caution laps count. But the last 25 laps, only green flag laps count. Only green flag laps count. In the last 25 laps, in the qualifier, in the second qualifier, the Twin 50s at Rockingham Speedway. The turkey shootout known as the Twin 50s at Rockingham Speedway. The twin qualifiers, 50 laps, so twin qualifiers, the twin 50s, and then the turkey shootout at Rockingham Speedway. The race, the actual race itself, the turkey shootout at Rockingham Speedway. Another way to get in, and the drivers who have to race their way in the turkey shootout at Rockingham Speedway, and they have to finish no worse than 5th in both qualifiers. That last checkered flag, they have to finish no worse. They have to finish 5th or better to get in, in order to race their way in. That's how the format will most likely go if NASCAR was to do an exhibition race on Thanksgiving. If 2 50-lap qualifiers on Thursday. The first 5 drivers, the driver who finishes no worse than 5th races his way into the All-Star. Races his way into the turkey shootout at Rockingham Speedway. And then the race itself. If you qualified from the pole throughout the entire season, drivers who qualify from the pole is automatically in. Drivers who had wins throughout the entire season, they can get in that way. They're automatically in. And the past champion, and definitely the past champion in the Sprint Cup Series, automatically in. No matter what, the driver who has the pole, the driver who qualified for the pole throughout the entire season, the drivers who had wins the entire season, and the past champion, automatically gets in the exhibition Thanksgiving race. No matter what happens, they're automatically in. But however, the drivers that are competing they have to race their way in to the Thanksgiving race. They have to finish in the last 50 laps. The last checker flag flies. They have to finish no worse than 5th in order to get in. In order to race their way in. So that's pretty much how the format would probably go if they were to do a race on Thanksgiving.